I'm pleased to say next that we have an unboxing. These are always great, especially given the Android phones that are around. You may remember a few weeks ago that John Dyer unboxed his Samsung Galaxy Z Flip3. Joseph Hodge has gone one up, and he's got the Galaxy Z Fold3. Take it away, Joseph.
All right, so I am here. I got the Fold box. I've opened the leather flip stand. I think they sent me a flip stand, but I'm not, or a flip cover, but I'm not exactly sure because it looks tiny. So we'll find out if that fits my Fold or not. I checked my order because I opened the case first, and it says Fold, but it looks like a flip cover, so we'll find out. So the box is a square. Kind of looks like, it's a very nice presentation, kind of looks like a, it's kind of flat. Tape is on both sides, so I got one side up. But your kind of typical nice feeling box, you know, that premium things come in. There we go. Get this off of here. And it's just, you know, it's so Apple boxes tend to be kind of small. That's what I'm familiar with for the most part, kind of small and stuff. This is fairly wide. Of course, it would be because of the phone being bigger. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up, and I got the lid off, and we got the Fold laying in here with nice wrapping. Yeah, you can hear that. Yeah, there's no way that cover that they sent me is going to go on this thing. I don't see how. I mean, I don't see how, but let me. Where did I put that? So looking at the Fold here, I'm going to stop talking and just kind of describe this. So they actually send it to you. It's unfolded by default. And so in the orientation they gave it to me, the volume key is on the right, as well as the power key. The power key I really like because it's flush with the unit. It still feels like a button, but it's not like sticking out like it used to be. The Fold is open, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my first fold. How satisfying is that? So we have on the top, I can feel a speaker grill, and then of course on the right hand side I mentioned the volume button's a power button. Going down, I believe the SIM card is supposed to be on this right-hand side at the bottom. I think I can feel it there. I'm going to confirm that before I start poking things. On the bottom, I feel a USB-C slot. And then if I open this up, it literally, you can feel it sort of in half. It feels really good. I mean, the glass, I really can't tell that there is a screen protector on here. I don't know exactly the best way to fold this. It's kind of, there we go. The hinge is pretty strong. Like I almost feel like I'm pushing way too hard. It's going to take a minute to get used to that. But it feels like you're kind of almost pushing too hard on the screen. And then on the outside, of course, we have the screen. But this is sharp. And on the left-hand side where the hinge is, you can kind of feel a little bit of, kind of feels like a speaker, but it's, I mean, obviously it's probably not. It just kind of feels like a little indentation there or something along those lines. What else do we have in the box? So in here we got, looks like the SIM adapter and the instructions. And is there even a cable in this thing? Yes, there is. There's a USB-C cable. So that's great. Okay. So let me try this cover here and see for sure. I don't like the leather cover only because it has a little strap that hangs down. Oh yeah, that does fit. I'll be damned. It has a strap. So then, okay, the lid it's not magnetic or anything. It just sort of lays on there. But this is not too bad folded up in the case. So I'm going to take out my Note. I have a Note 20 here, Note 20 Ultra. I'm laying the Fold on top of the Note 20 5G Ultra. And folded up, it is actually shorter than the Note. and it's thinner than the Note. So like when I lay it on the top of the Note has more room. Like there's more foam here. So it's not as chunky as I felt it at the Verizon store, but you just never know. It's not very chunky at all. In fact, I'm going to put it in my pocket. Now it's got some weight to it. You know it's there. But like in my pocket, I got it in the case in the pocket of my jeans. It takes up way less space than the Note did. And it actually feels really good. That's nice. As I was saying, the Samsung leather case here, it's not too bad. The only thing I don't particularly like is it's got a strap that hangs down on the right-hand side. It's meant to, you can, I guess, grab it and hold on to it. And then the left-hand flap, it as the phone sort of lays open, it actually hangs down. So like, I don't know how I would necessarily use this with like a camera or with Ira, because I feel like it would be a bit annoying. So because you got that flap just kind of hanging out, flapping around. So, and there we go. We folded it back. That is, I'm telling you, this is a nice phone. I really like it. But let me go ahead and get everything set up, and then I'll come back with some. But overall, my thoughts of the phone are that it feels very premium, and obviously it showed for the price. But B, just a very nice packaging experience from Samsung. And the box feels very premium, very nice. It very, very good. And just for those folks who are wondering, because I know like this has come up, like they wonder what the screen feels like. Literally on the inside when I unfold it, it feels like a real normal screen. Like I know that people talk about the Fold. I really can't feel it so much on the Fold. I could feel it on the Flip. By the way, John, if you're listening to this, I'm taking your advice. I put the case on so I can sort of feel the holes and feel where the SIM card may be. And I will let you guys know.
So I've had the phone a few days. Few observations. The SIM card, there is no SD card, but the SIM card, when it's folded open, it's on the left-hand side in portrait mode. So towards the top. So it'd be kind of like, if you had it folded, it would be a little bit above the volume button on that top edge. So it was a little hard to find. I thought it was on the right hand, like volume side when I read the review, but that is not where it is. It's actually on the left frame if it was wide open. So for those who aren't on the Telegram group, I mentioned this. It's interesting. I've had pretty much mostly Samsung stuff. Typically what they do is they put Internet Explorer, their browser, or not Internet Explorer, Samsung Internet in the dock. This one had Chrome. So you're starting to see the partnership of Google and Samsung take place. The speakers of the phone are really good. They're actually pretty pleasant to listen to. I'd still say the Pixel 3a might be my favorite Android speakers and maybe even best phone speakers I've heard. These aren't quite as bassy. There's a lot of separation though, because the speakers are, if you have it in portrait mode, one on the top, one on the bottom. If you have it in landscape, one's on the left, one's on the right. Let me kind of give you a brief listen to. I'll actually just go to a YouTube video, and we'll turn it up a little bit. Actually, I'll just go to my Spectrum TV here. So this will be just our news channel. And
most extraordinary of times.
so there's a commercial. So I'm going to turn it up.
Can count on the speed and reliability of the Spectrum network. Spectrum, think forward.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
So it's pretty. It gets pretty loud. I've used it for a lot of different media stuff, and it's pretty enjoyable to hear. I think it's better than my Note 20 Ultra was. That one was a little. It didn't have much. It really didn't have much bass, and the ear speaker was much quieter. And I think the advantage that this phone has is the it's a true speaker. It's not like an earpiece that's supposed to be a speaker. So I think there's a little bit more detail there in your audio. Battery life has been pretty good. I don't think it's as good as my Note, but then again, it's still optimizing things because I just got it Monday. So we'll see if that changes long term. I'll let you all know on email lists or something long term if things change. And interestingly, I don't know why, but on the Note 20, if I double tap and held, I never got the talkback sound scheme that you would get on a Pixel or most other Android devices I've tried. But on this one, I get that. So it does seem like, even though I'm running the same like talkbacks and the same One UI, it seems like I'm getting more of the straight-laced Google talkback, which is interesting. So, but I kind of like having that because of one of the things that I was never really sure, like when you hit the home button, and sometimes Google Assistant wouldn't come up all the time on the Note, but when I hear that sound scheme with talkback, I know it's there. So it's kind of nice. Everything's pretty responsive, as it should be. The one cool thing is I have set up 2 home screens. So you can have them mirror each other if you want, but I chose not to. So if I'm folded, I have my kind of like what I call my travel home screen, where I have like Uber and Lazarillo and Google Maps, like stuff I'll need if I'm moving around. And then on my unfolded screen, I have the PSP app, like more gaming stuff. I have some reading apps. That's one other quick thing I'll mention, is that by default, under advanced settings and features, there is a choice that you can make that determines how the screen is going to be laid out. You can either have it laid out where, for example, let's say you're in settings, you'll see a split screen. So the left-hand side would have your categories such as accessibility, general and input, about this phone, etc., display. You would see that on the left-hand side. Whatever one you have open would be on the right-hand side. So if I had accessibility open, I would see like vision, hearing on the right-hand side, talkback, etc. So it kind of splits it out. You can change that view to where it is basically just one large screen. I chose to do that right now because what I want to see is, does that kind of gives me a bit bigger of a view of my apps that I want to use. So for example, like when I'm on my Reddit app, I can now see more screen than I can with my other phone just because the screen's bigger. In the view that it has by default, it actually kind of splits the screen, and you really don't actually get much more detail than you would on a normal phone. So it's something to think about if you get this phone and you're like, hey, why my view hasn't really changed all that much, even though the screen's bigger. That's why. So go to advanced settings and change that view to a single screen. I think it's standard and single screen is what you see. So, so anyway, that's kind of my quick review on this thing. It's a really nice phone, really great experience so far, and I love the premium feel of it. That's one thing. I mean, yeah, it's a lot thicker than my Note, but it's smaller. So like in my pocket, like I do notice it, but because of the fact that it's not like so tall in my pocket, really does make a difference. And after using that front screen for a few days for things like braille screen input or even just typing, I like it. Like I like the fact it's kind of narrow. I know a lot of sighted people kind of complain about that, but as a blind person, I actually find that it makes finding things like, buttons are closer together going across the screen. It's a little taller, so you're actually kind of getting a little bit more information. And the only app that I've ever seen that mess with, most apps have worked fine on that front screen for whatever reason, my SiriusXM app, I cannot see that top portion of the app when I open it. If I open it unfolded, it works fine. If I open it that way, on the outside screen, it does not. So the other interesting thing that people may think about or wonder about, if you're unfolded, obviously the front screen would be down, like it would be on the back of the device. It does not register any accidental touches, which is great. It was kind of a concern to me, but like coming into this, but it has done super well. Like it knows if it's unfolded or not, and basically that screen just becomes inactive. So that's another great thing. So anyway, thank you all for putting this out. And anybody who's interested in the Fold 3, it's a great phone. If you do have any questions, just ask it on the list. I'll see it, or on Telegram, and I'll answer any questions I can. Thanks.
I got to say, I looked at that phone in the store, and it looks kind of nice. I'm not quite sure how practical it would be for me to use the way I want to use a phone, but it folding out sideways instead of up and down, you obviously get much more real estate on the inner screen, and you pay the price accordingly, obviously. But to me, it's the more interesting of the folding options, I think, than the retro flip adapted for 2021. I don't know what you guys think.
Just remember, that retro flip, you get mad at someone, you just slam that thing down, right? I think that for me is the real thing here.
Yeah.
Getting mad.
You can do that with a pinch on the fold, I guess. You've got a very big hand.
Yeah, these are great phones. I'm not sure that I am into the flip yet. It's something that probably, if it becomes the norm and we don't have candy bar style anymore, then of course you are forced to getting one of those. But right now, I think I'm a candy bar eater.
Yeah, I'm not wild about foldables. If I were going to get one though, I think I like the screen on this one. Obviously, a flip, it's going up. So you're pulling it up from the bottom, and it's creating a very long, narrow screen. The fold is opening sideways, creating a wider, more like a traditional tablet screen. As Warren says, you can't do the old slamming shut like used to be pre-talks on those. Back when we wanted phones to be as small as possible rather than as large as possible, those tiny little Samsungs you used to get.
Yeah, and watch out that it doesn't fall out of your pocket, slip off or whatever. That's an expensive device.
Yeah, well, when you've unfolded it, make sure you don't drop it. Make sure your hand's big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a nice phone. Thank you for that, Joseph.